Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Farm Finance. This is a video series that we here at Compeer Financial have designed to help farmers and agribusiness owners dig into the details of their business, specifically the details of the financial side of their business. My name is Sarah Hetke. I am a digital communications consultant here at Compeer Financial and your host for today's video. We're going to have a couple guests with us today, but our first guest is going to be sharing more about land values. We have Deanne Phelps. She is a member of our appraisal team. She's going to be helping us better understand land values and trends that we're seeing. So Deanne, welcome. Let's start off by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at Compeer.
Hi, thank you, Sarah. So my name is Deanne Phelps, and I'm a certified general real estate appraiser based in Northern Illinois. My territory includes 3 counties located in Northwestern Illinois, and I'm excited to be speaking about current land values with you today.
Awesome. Before we dive in, I do want to let our viewers know that we are monitoring the comments section. So go ahead and drop your questions in there. Deanne's going to be talking a lot about land values and the trends that we've been seeing. But if you have specific questions, things that you want us to answer, go ahead and drop them in the comments section. We'll be monitoring that today. So Deanne, let's just level set on the benchmarking for land values.
Yeah, so Compeer uses a benchmark valuation system to track land values over time. And we appraise the same 36 farms on an annual basis. These farms consist of full agriculture properties, including different cropland types and also recreational farms. The benchmarks are distributed throughout Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And until recently, these farms were appraised July 1st on an annual basis. But the appraisal department had decided to appraise these farms monthly so that we're able to catch that market change. So just some rough numbers, the average increase in land value on 18 farms in Illinois from July 2021 to February 2022 was 17.4% increase. The average on 8 farms in Wisconsin was 12.1%. And the average on 10 farms in Minnesota was 23.4% increase. The percent increase, of course, varies depending on the location, but all of our benchmarks have increased over this time frame. Minnesota takes the first place for the highest increase in benchmark value, and that was at a 56% increase, and that's in Fillmore County benchmark. And then the largest increase in Illinois was 35.17%, and that's on a LaSalle County property. And then the largest increase in Wisconsin was 23.08%, and that was in Dane County. So in my immediate territory, which is kind of the Ogle County area, that benchmark had increased steadily every month since July of 2021. But with an overall increase of 13.42% from July 2021 to February of 2022. So appraising these farms monthly is helping us to keep up with that changing market and helping us to kind of determine what kind of market conditions adjustment we need to be making on some of those older sales that we're using.
Yeah, I think that's very cool that the appraisal team is keeping those benchmarks and helping us identify that information. I know a lot of our clients are interested to know what land values are doing. We've certainly seen an increase in those land values. Any other trends that you've seen that are happening?
Yeah, so of course we're seeing that upward trend across Compeer's territory. The strong commodity prices, historically low interest rates, and government payments have helped contribute to that upward trend that we're seeing. The recent auctions have continued to kind of push those markets upward. I don't think we've seen that plateau quite yet. We had a Class A farm auction in February of 2020 in DeKalb County, Illinois, and that sold for $15,500 per acre. And then just this month, a Class A farm in LaSalle County, Illinois, sold for $20,100 per acre. So in my area, these are the highest priced farmland sales that we have seen recently, and most of them have been coming from those auctions. So it's be interesting to see if we do start to plateau or when that kind of might start trending downward. But for right now, it looks like we're still on that upward trend.
Yeah, very interesting. How about any certain areas that we're seeing a lot of movement, turnover, land sales? How do you expect that will impact farm operations?
Yeah, so I think that we have seen quite a bit of more land changing hands just with this upward market that we're in. But also I've seen some more movement in development land and also land that's being leased for solar farms. So recently in my territory, we've had a few farms that are being purchased by solar companies themselves. In Ogle County, we had a total of 311 acres that were recently purchased by two different solar companies. The price paid for this land was roughly in the 6,000 per acre range, and we're starting to see more farmers being approached with possible solar lease farms. So I think this movement with some of this development land and the solar leases are also going to kind of have an impact overall on what farmers decide to do with their land and kind of where our prices are going to be set.
Yeah. Deanne, we had a question come in on the Facebook page. Amy commented, wow, those are some big increases that we've been seeing. Do we expect those increased trends to continue?
Yeah, so it all depends on the market. As appraisers, we analyze the market and kind of appraise farms based on that. So depending on what I think happens with commodity prices, input costs, that'll kind of determine, you know, if those values continue to go up or if maybe we start seeing them come back down.
I think that's the perfect segue into my next question for you, Deanne. You know, we've been seeing an increase in those commodity prices, but also higher input costs on farms. So how is that going to impact the land values?
Yeah, so one of the main driving forces behind high demand for agriculture land has to do with the recent spike in commodity prices. I believe profitability for 2022 for farmers will depend on the strength of the commodity prices, but also the cost of our inputs. Overall, I would say farmland is viewed to appreciate, and I think that's what's holding values currently. We also have some investor activity in my territory. With historically low interest rates, investors are looking for appealing investments, both for the return of investment and return on investment. So pressure on farmland values could increase if these input costs do not come back to a more historic cost. Input costs affect the farmland values directly, but they also affect our cash rents and profitability. So cash rents and farmer profitability are the main drivers of farmland value. So historically, farmland has made a good investment. So we'll see, you know, if profitability starts going down because of higher input costs and commodities come down, we could see that directly affect farmland values.
So let's switch gears here a little bit and let's talk about future and new technology. So is there anything with improvements or new ag technology capabilities that can help improve the value of land?
Yeah, so one thing that comes to mind in my area would be field tile. So the tile will facilitate drainage issues, helping to move water more quickly. This will help our environment, the crops, and the farmers profit. And for people that may be unfamiliar with field tile, what it is it's a plastic hose with tiny holes in it, and it's placed in the ground, and then it helps move water out. So if the farm has really good tile and good drainage, that farm will more than likely be worth more than a farm with poor drainage. Another improvement that comes to mind is irrigation. So irrigation in my area is pretty limited, but it becomes more apparent when we get on those sandier farms. We're also seeing wind turbines and solar leases have impact on farmland values. So in majority of cases, a farm with a windmill or solar panels usually sells for a premium above farmland value, taking into consideration the value of that lease and the payments that lease is giving. So sales of solar farms are very, very limited in my area, but I predict that we could possibly see some more of those in the future.
Yeah, that is very interesting insight because I've been hearing more and more about the solar farms that are being put in or that are being proposed. So definitely something that's on the minds of a lot of farmers and rural landowners. So continuing on the topic of technology, with the new technology that farmers are using, do those have impacts on the farmland values, or do you expect to see that have impacts in the future?
Yeah, so I think farming, we all know, has come a long way in the technology department. I do have some stats for us. So the number of farm operations less than 1,000 acres shrank from 57.6% of farms in 1997 to 39.8% in 2017. And the number of farm operations over 5,000 acres grew from 1.5% in 1997 to 7% in 2017. So we can see that farmers are becoming more efficient, and with the help of technology, they're able to farm more acres. So efficiency can lead to lower cost. One example that comes to my mind is a lot of farmers are able to VRT fertilizer and planting, which can help concentrate costs in a certain area of the farm versus applying the same rate or same cost across the whole farm. So this can lead to lower input costs, maybe giving farmers some more purchasing power. But I believe that technologies probably more contributed to overall farm profit, but farm profit directly affects farmland values.
Great. This has been excellent information, Deanne. I know we have a lot of interest in farmland values, and it's been interesting to hear what you've been seeing and what the appraisal team is watching and expecting to see come into the future. So with the interest that we've seen for folks who want to stay up to date on the appraisal news and what's happening with land values and the benchmarking that you're doing, where can folks go to learn more?
Yeah, so we actually have an appraisal newsletter that we're sending out. So I think Sarah said that she'll drop a link in for everybody if they want to look at that appraisal newsletter that comes out and learn some more information. Also on Compier's website, we do have an appraisal section on there, so you can kind of see what appraisers in your area and give us a call anytime you need anything.
Great. Yeah, we will drop the link to sign up for that appraisal e-newsletter in the comments. I know there's always a highlight in there on land values and what we're seeing, and some highlights from what we're seeing in those land values. So a valuable resource for those who want to stay up to date on that. Deanne, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. If anyone does have questions on land values, certainly drop those in the comments. Deanne will hang on the call, but we actually have another guest with us today. So we just talked a lot about technology, and Kelly Miller with our Ag Tech financing team is with us today as well. And she's going to be talking with us about one of the ways that Compier is using technology to help our clients. So Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the technology that Compier and your team is using.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Deanne. My name is Kelly Miller, and I am the Director of Ag Tech Financing. And really, we're making it even easier to do business with us is one of our main goals. And one of the new technologies that we've been able to bring online here recently has been the online application for real estate. And so I know we spent the last 15 minutes or so talking about the land values, and we want to make sure that once you know that information from your regarding your land, that you have a really easy way to make that land work for you. Just like, there's been significant amount of technology coming into the marketplace as it relates to ag, Compier has had to adapt, right? We're evolving with it, and we want to make sure that you can still come to our offices. You can we'll still go out to your farm and meet you at your pickup bed. But we also have another opportunity for you to do business on your own time, right? Whether that's 10 o'clock at night or Saturday morning, whatever it might be. We now offer an online application for our ag real estate loans. And just for another client choice, on do business on your own time. Similar to how you grow your farms, you have to get more creative with your time, and we want to make sure that you can utilize that. So we're choosing digital as just one more option that you can do business with us. We're still here and still happy and excited to share our expertise. But if you want to start that application online, we absolutely offer that on compier.com.
Great. Yeah, I think the convenience in choosing to do business digitally, but having the option to come into an office is great. It's, meeting everyone where they're at and helping to facilitate those connections on nights and weekends and to help grow the farm when you want to. So for anyone who's interested in using the online application, who is it for?
Right. Anybody, right? Anybody in our territory that would need a land land loan. So that's existing clients, clients that don't know us yet. We'd love to bring you in our digital doors. And so it's for ag real estate. It's anybody within our territory in the Compeer area.
Are there any limitations to, say, a dollar amount or anything like that for when you could or could not use the online application?
Yeah, good question. Right now, we are able to go up to $2.5 million online to start that application online. So you can start that there. If it is over that, you can certainly contact anybody within our Compeer area as well.
Excellent. And if someone logs on and uses that online application, how quickly can they expect to receive a decision?
Yeah, we're really proud of this. We've been able to develop a simple application that in most cases, most people have been able to get done with it in about 10 minutes. And in a significant amount, we can give you a decision right on screen. And so that's in as little as 10 minutes, sometimes a little longer. But if we can't immediately decide your loan or decision your loan online, we'll get back to you within that next business day to keep things moving forward as well.
Well, that certainly does sound convenient and very exciting to learn about this online real estate loan. But from my understanding, there's more to come. So what else can we expect?
Yeah, we are continuing to offer more loan types, right? Right now we have ag real estate loan, and within the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to offer operating line of credit. So you can apply online for your operating lines of credit. And later this year, you'll be able to apply for term loans. So that will be available. So we'll have all of our main products online to be able to, for a client to apply and start that application process.
Very exciting, and exciting to know that we have convenient options however we choose to do business. So thank you for sharing more about that. But before you go, I know you have one more exciting piece of information to share. Why don't you tell us about this exciting appraisal offer that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. And in conjunction with our appraisal team and our team, we are happy to offer the first 10 people that apply online and get approved and close the loan. We are happy to pay for that appraisal. And so it's the first 10 that, like I said, get approved. I know there's going to be a link below that Sarah and team are going to be able to share and use. But yeah, so we're happy to pay for an appraisal, and we'd love feedback. Right, we're just starting this journey on digital together, and we would love your feedback on, was it easy to do business that way, and how could we improve it? And we're always open to that as well. So go get it.
Yeah, and we will be dropping that link in the comments. You do have to use the link that we put in the comments to apply for that use that online application with that link we provide in order to qualify as one of those first 10 to get that free appraisal. So make sure you use that link that we are dropping in the comments for that to access the online application. Kelly, thank you for joining us. Don't leave quite yet. Deanne, why don't you come back on? We're going to see if we get a couple more questions that come in. We have at least one that has come in from the Facebook page. So for anyone who's watching, Deanne and Kelly are going to be with us for a few more minutes. They'll take any questions you have about land values, appraisals, our online application, any questions that have come up along the way. But Deanne, we have a question from Andy, and he's wondering, how are some of the solar and wind leases typically structured?
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of the wind turbines and the solar leases being structured over a long period of time. So we're kind of looking at that lease and what that value, what that payment is to the lease, and putting that back into what a present value of that lease would be currently. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing pretty good payments, I would say, on especially some of this new solar stuff coming in. So it's just a matter of how we're capitalizing what that payment is and trying to put that to a present value of what that farm would be worth based on future payments.
Great, thank you for that information. It doesn't look like we have any more questions in the comments right now, but for folks who watch this recording later on, know that you can also drop your questions in the comments. We'll continue to monitor this, and we'll get you answers to the questions that you have from Deanne or Kelly over the coming days. Thank you to both of you for joining us today and for sharing this excellent information. Folks, don't forget to go sign up for the Appraisal e-newsletter if you want to stay up to date on land values and what the appraisal team is up to, what they're seeing. That link is in the comments. And again, for those who want to apply online for that online real estate loan. Use that link in the comments. The first 10 people will get a free appraisal after completing that application. So thank you, Deanne and Kelly, and thank you to everyone who's watching. Don't forget to drop your questions in the comments.
Thank you.